I think it's safe to say that VELKHANA was somewhat polarizing amongst the community. And for good reason too. The quest offered some pretty great rewards, but it was only up for a very short period of time and it had a very unforgiving time limit, so there was a lot of pressure. That said, I'm here to make the case that if you ignore all of that and just look at the fight itself, VELKHANA is probably the best monster in all of Monster Hunter World. And that's quite exciting, because it maybe means good things for Iceborne. Can you tell I was supposed to record this before Iceborne came out? VELKHANA does difficulty right. There are a lot of issues with how Monster Hunter World, and also some of the older games, try to make the fights difficult. And I think VELKHANA does a really good job of avoiding and even flipping every single one of them. Think about annoying gimmicks like Valhazak's damage over time, or ATZeno making Heat Guard basically a necessity for the fight. So many monsters have an awful over-reliance on wind pressure or tremors comboing into nearly guaranteed hits. Think about Teostra's roar into its instant charge. Think about Kushala's constant wind pressure. Think about Luna's both. Think about how annoying Joe's tremors are. VELKHANA has none of this. Doesn't have any damage over time nonsense. Doesn't combo you from roars. Has basically zero wind pressure. Its lingering effects can be kind of annoying. Like the clouds can be kind of distracting. But they feel way more fair than something like Lunastra's flames or Teo's blast dusts. It doesn't have a stupid near instant super move like 18 Negi's Pepega Slam that just sort of completely ruins the fight. And even the one true combo it does have, the sticky ice breath into tail stab, you can waddle away from that if you know what you're doing. The past year has been a little bit worrying, for me at least, in terms of what Monster Hunter World considers difficult. It's mostly been annoying gimmicks that kind of feel like a chore to deal with more than anything else. I think Luna embodies this quite well. But VELKHANA does good damage, it punishes inopportune healing and bad stamina management, it's hyper aggressive but it has great moves with tight hitboxes and with clear tells and patterns. I think VELKHANA really did a good job of making a difficult but fun fight. This is how I want them to make fights difficult in Iceborne's endgame. VELKHANA does AoE right. I briefly mentioned this before, but VELKHANA feels like it's like what they were going for with Luna, but done correctly. The clouds it leaves to linger are quite reminiscent of Luna's flames, but unlike those, they require VELKHANA's more heavily telegraphed moves to activate. They also have a pretty lengthy delay and a very clear tell before they explode, and the resulting hitbox is very clearly defined by the cloud itself. Maybe the cloud should be slightly larger. I think Behemoth is an example of this done wrong. The Meteor hitbox is a lot larger than the marker that telegraphs it in the first place, so you sort of have to mentally learn that. Your brain has to say, oh, I see the marker, but remember, this move is actually 40% bigger than that. So while every intuition I've built up over playing games tells me to, get out of the light and I'll be safe, you need that extra mental step to say, actually, no, you have to go further. Or, if you can't reach that far, try an iframe. Just generally, I don't think it's a well-designed move, although I do know that some people disagree. I don't think you need me to explain how Luna violates this rule in pretty much every conceivable way. So yeah, the lingering hitboxes are very well telegraphed, both in terms of what's about to make them go off and when they're actually about to do their damage, and also their hitboxes are very well indicated by the clouds themselves. I think this is how you properly deal with these lingering hitboxes, and even though I've never been a fan of them, if they keep taking it in this direction, I could maybe get behind them. VELKHANA does openings right. So I'm slightly biased in this last point, to be completely honest with you. I mostly fought VELKHANA with Insect Glaive, Hunting Horn and Greatsword, and those are all fairly mobile. I can imagine that some of the slower weapons might disagree here, and that's completely understandable. That said, most of VELKHANA's moves leave very small openings, enough to land maybe 1 or 2 hits in, and, well, at least in the beta, it didn't topple over constantly, or at least not at my level of gameplay. What this does is turn the fight into a give and take dance, where you dodge and weave in and out of one attack after the other, landing in a quick pop every now and then whenever you get a chance. It has an amazing flow and it never really slows down because of how hyper aggressive VELKHANA is. It gives you the openings you need, but never enough time to feel comfortable. Oh, and I mean, it's a fantastic looking monster with this amazing, dynamically varying theme playing in the background as you fight it. But I think by now we kind of expect that from Monster Hunter World. These are the 3 main reasons I think VELKHANA is probably one of the best fights we have in Monster Hunter World so far. I hope that at least my position makes a bit more sense now. especially to those people who sort of came out of the beta hating this fight. I think if they designed the other fights in this game with the same guiding principles that they used to make VELKHANA, Iceborne's going to be fantastic. I'm fairly small, so every like, every sub, every comment does mean genuinely a huge deal to me. You know, even if it's just to say, hey, cool video, dude, or hey, you suck. It's fine. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a lovely day.